What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Shinobi Squad podcast. I'm fan service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella, and yes, I know I'm dressed like Lieutenant Surge from Pokemon. That's why I have Pikachu here as a guest host and Pikachu number 2. I didn't have Raichu, but Pikachu is kind of close enough because he's in the same episode, if you guys remember.
Yeah, they don't have Raichu merchandise, do they?
They really don't. I've
Why
never
they
seen
hating on
Raichu.
Raichu?
I don't know.
Why they hating on the evolved form of Pikachu?
Like us nerds would know who Raichu is. We know who Pikachu is. We know who everyone is. So
Well, just because Ash's Pikachu was kind of being a bitch and didn't want to evolve, or maybe it was Ash being a bitch and didn't want to accept change. He didn't want new things in his life. We don't know how abusive Ash was. He could have been like, "You better not change, Pikachu. You better not change." I mean, Ash didn't like change. What? It took him 20 years to finally become the Pokemon League champion,
man,
and he didn't age one bit because he didn't want to evolve either.
he sucked though. He was terrible.
20 years later, Ash still the same freaking age.
Ash tried his best though.
He did his best. He did his best. That would suck to not age, but then the rest of the people around you age.
Right, and then you kind of just move on in
The
life.
struggle of immortals. Anyways, welcome back, guys. Sorry for that Pokemon tangent that we went on. Today, we are going to talk about extreme cases of Notice Me Senpai. What I mean by that is extreme or crazy things people have done to either be in our life or get our attention. They just wanted Senpai to notice them.
So, for those of you who don't know, I started off my cosplay career doing cosplay commissions for people. I would make cosplay for people, who wanted something that they couldn't find online at the time. And I did that for quite a while.
Yeah.
I was in college at the time, and I was friends with a lot of people who were into the same thing that I was. Anime, cosplay, conventions, the like. And I met this one person. I will name his name because he's long gone out of my life. He's nowhere on social media or
say his
anything
name.
like that. His name was Jim.
Jim.
Jimmy.
J-I-M.
But we used to just
Not
call him Jim.
G-Y-M. Or G-M. Jim. Anyways.
Just Jim. And he was a nerd just like me. He cosplayed from time to time. Actually, I'm not sure if he ever really did cosplay now that I think about it. Because he was nerdy, but he wasn't at any convention that I went to.
So what's the history with Jim? How do you know him?
So we went to school together. We had a art
High school?
class. No, this was college.
College. Okay.
So we had a college art class together. He would, draw a lot of nerdy stuff.
How long were you guys in school together?
Just a semester.
Okay.
We didn't even know each other that long. We weren't even really friends like that. We just kind of got to talking one day because I saw him drawing some anime and stuff like that. We got to know each other just a little bit. Like, we never were friends like that. We just kind of saw that we had similar interests.
So you were like college acquaintances.
Yeah, we were acquaintances. I wouldn't go as far as saying we were friends.
Okay.
I asked him one day, I'm like, hey, do you ever go to conventions? Are you into cosplay? Are you doing that kind of thing? And he had flat out said no, but he was kind of interested into it. And moving through the semester, he got to know me a little bit more, and I guess he had a crush on me at some point. I would notice he would talk to me a little bit more, and he would, hang out after class and talk a little bit more and stuff like that. It got to the point where he's like, oh, I hear you do commissions. I hear you make cosplay for people. What would you think making a cosplay for me? And I said, well, okay, sure. I knew he was kind of into the world, but he never really cosplayed into that kind of thing. So I'm like, okay, so you're trying to get into it. He's like, yeah, I really like to cosplay Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. He loved the character. He didn't really talk about anime as much as that I can remember, but he really wanted to be Zuko for some reason. And I'm just like, yeah, sure, whatever. I didn't really think anything of it. As time went on, he just kind of didn't really care about the costume itself. Like, I was sitting here, like, working my blood, sweat, and tears into this cosplay for him.
Yeah.
He paid me for it and everything, but I just noticed that he wasn't really into the cosplay itself.
Okay. All right, so let's break down the facts. You know Jimmy through school.
Yes.
You kind of noticed that he was crushing on you.
Yes.
He asked you to do a paid cosplay commission.
Yes.
Then you started, and he just didn't really keep up with it?
Yes, because I was asking him questions like, okay,
Like fittings and stuff?
yeah,
You didn't?
fittings. I would ask him like colored schemes because I know some people are kind of particular about that.
Yeah.
I would ask him specific questions about the cosplay in particular.
Fabric and stuff. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he would just kind of brush it off like, okay, whatever, just do it. But what are you doing this weekend though? I hear there's something going on downtown. I hear there's like a band playing, stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, but I'm kind of working on your cosplay. Like I need time to finish this.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't really talk about that with me.
But I'm sure as soon as you said it was like, hey, I need you to come through for a fitting, he was right there, right?
Oh yeah.
He was right there, like, yeah, fit me.
Yeah.
Measure me again. I don't know how long my inseam is. Measure me again.
And luckily for me, in this point in time, we were still in the same class, so it was easy for me to bring the costume with me to
You're
class.
Like, oh man, that's such. Hold on. That's such a disappointment. He was probably thinking he was gonna see where you live, come through, get measured at your place.
That's why I said, lucky for me, we still had the same class.
He must have been so disappointed when you brought it to school and measured him during lunchtime.
I wasn't about to have this boy in my apartment because at the time I lived with my boyfriend at the time. I didn't want some random dude in my apartment because that's disrespectful. Even if I talked to my boyfriend,
yes, disrespectful.
Even though I did talk to my boyfriend about gym and about what I was doing for him, but I didn't want that guy in my apartment just up there willy nilly and whatever. I brought the cosplay to him, and I don't think he liked that so much because he's like, oh, okay, I guess we can do the fitting here in class.
He probably just kept all his clothes on. Yeah, just fit me over my clothes. I don't care. Like, it's Chicago. He's probably wearing like a triple goose down leather jacket or whatever. And he's like, yeah, just fit it over this. And you're like, is that how you're going to wear the costume? And he's like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, this guy was just totally just trying to hang out with me one-on-one.
I know you're not cheap, so he spent good money on that, didn't he?
He spent really good money.
He spent good money.
Even back then, like I was charging, I think I charged him maybe $200.
Yeah.
Something like that. But he still paid the money. But I don't think that he paid the money thinking that he would just be in this business relationship with me. I think from what he was doing and how he was talking to me, I think he wanted to get that special one-on-one time because he thought we would spend that time together.
Yeah. As you're making the costume, did he ever insert that he wanted it done by a certain time?
Oh, yeah.
Or was he trying to like prolong it?
So we were going to the same convention. He had mentioned that he wanted to go to this convention that I also was going to. And I'm like, okay, again, perfect. When I have this cosplay done, I can give it to you at this convention and you can try it on because we were both staying at a hotel nearby. And I'm like, okay, that's perfect. You know, he was all nice to me when he thought that we were going to spend time together while I was making his costume. But then lo and behold, as soon as he found out that I didn't want to go any farther in any kind of relationship.
Besides the professional
exchange, he got totally different on me. He did a 360 on me out of nowhere. He's automatically just demanding about his cosplay. He's demanding that I get it done at a certain time. He wants changes made at the last minute. I'm like, okay, this whole time you didn't care about this cosplay that I was making for you. Just because you think we're not going to hang out together more than friends, that, you know, now you can say whatever you want to me and like be how you want to be towards me. Like, what the
Okay, so 2 questions. Did you finally get the costume done?
I did.
Okay.
I got it done. And then he saw the cosplay in full. And then for some reason, he's just like, this isn't what I want. This isn't how I wanted it. And you didn't do it right. Like, he was totally different towards me at this point in time.
Did he ever finally just step up and confess how he felt?
Yeah, actually, he did. I remember at the convention, he was like, hey, you know, I really did like you. I really did think that we could be together. Like, I wanted to be more than friends, but it just didn't seem like it would go that way. And I'm like, okay, then that's when everything started to come full circle. I'm just like, wow. So you were mean to me out of nowhere because you didn't get what you wanted.
You got butthurt.
Yeah, he got butthurt. He didn't get what he wanted out of it, and he turned it on me. Like, I did something wrong.
Like, bruh, do you go to Macy's and get mad that the cashier is not in love with you just because you are?
Yeah.
Damn.
So then I started to think, okay, so if I'm going to keep doing this cosplay commission business, then I need to set some kind of ground rules, some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of statement to where this kind of thing wouldn't happen anymore.
Yeah, that must have been like a real rude awakening. I'm sure that's something any commissioner never really thinks about. Is this person spending the money just because they want the costume, or is this their excuse to be in my life? Wow, like I've never thought about it like that. That is a real slick but creepy way of being in someone's life. You have an excuse to be involved with them and talk to them. Okay, so the costume's done. Did he ever take it?
Yeah, he did end up taking it. And then I remember seeing him at one of the days at the convention. He wore it and everything. But then I kind of noticed that he was just very standoffish. He wouldn't talk to me. I tried introducing him to my friends and everything and wanted to hang out, but it just wasn't like that anymore.
He did end up taking it, and he wore it.
He wore it. He wore it for a day at the convention, and I distinctly remember. And then he saw me later on that night and gave the cosplay back to me and was like, you know what?
Wow.
This really didn't work out for me. I don't like what you did. I don't like the changes that I wanted previously. I don't like it like this. And he kind of just gave it back to me, expecting me to change everything for him. And I'm just like, okay, but you paid already. Like, you paid for it.
He not only paid, he wore it, got his experience out of it. To me, that's like going to a restaurant, ordering a pizza. You eat the whole damn pizza, maybe save 3-4 crusts from a couple slices, then going back to the counter and saying, hey, I didn't enjoy this pizza. Bitch, there ain't nothing but a couple crusts left. You clearly enjoyed it enough. You can't just give it back and demand a refund or whatever. I'm not sure if he asked you for his money back. But still, he wore it for a whole last day and then turn around and complain that it wasn't to the standard he wanted. I used to work at KFC. My first job. This lady ordered a 16-piece bucket. The biggest bucket KFC had at the time. She told me she had planned on going to the beach. Mm-hmm. She took that whole 16-piece bucket meal to the beach, came back with 16 bones in a bucket, and tried to get her money back on the same shit that Jimmy was talking about. He wasn't happy. She's like, oh, there's something wrong with this chicken. I demand my money back. Luckily, my boss at the time, I'll never forget him, Mohammed, straight out of Nigeria. Didn't give a shit about what she had to say. Mind you, he's straight out of another country. He knows the struggle.
Yep.
He's looking at this bucket like, I don't want to misquote him, but I'm sure I'm going to, so let me paraphrase what he said. Like a G, he took that bucket, looked straight in her eyes. You give me a bucket full of bones. What am I supposed to do with bones? Mm-hmm. You clearly said you have problem with my chicken, but you ate it all. Uh-huh. You give me bones. What am I supposed to give you? Napkins? Wipe your mouth? You enjoyed a whole meal. I cannot give you your money back for a meal that you have enjoyed. Unless you can regurgitate and put the chicken back on the bones, I cannot give you back your money. Uh-huh. And that lady was pissed. What do you mean I'm not going to get my money back? This isn't right. I didn't like the chicken. Well, obviously, you liked it enough to eat all of the chicken. So until you give me back my chicken, I will not give you back the money.
Oh, damn.
So until this bucket is full with meat and skin on the chicken, you get no money.
Damn. Like a G.
Like a G. I'm never coming back. Well, I do not want you to come back. If you are going to come and eat my chicken and want my money, I will go broke. How will I support my family if you keep coming and eating all of the chicken?
Right.
And I'm just sitting there like, damn, he in the front counter, standing his ground, telling this bitch she ain't getting back her money because she ate all the chicken. So she stormed off, and he was like, excuse me, miss, you forgot your bones. Take these with you.
Damn.
You paid your money, now take your bones.
Like a G.
And then she just stormed off, and then he turns around and looks at me. Some people, the nerve they have. If this was my country, I would eat these bones as well. How dare she waste good bones? I was like, damn, Muhammad, okay.
Slow clap.
Slow clap. Anyways, enough about my side story. Let's go back to you and Jim. He gives back the costume. Did you make all his alterations that he asked for?
I did. Because out of respect for the clientele, I'm like, okay.
Good service.
It was good service. I'll do if I do say so myself. And I guess the cherry on top of that shit cake was the fact that I did make all of the changes that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, he never contacted me again.
He never showed back up?
Nope. Never messaged me.
Wow.
At that point in time, we were done with the class, so I never really saw him again. That was it. So not only did he pay for a whole costume, he did all that for the fact that he wanted to be more than just friends.
Wow.
And then after all that, he just disappeared out of my life. Like, it was nothing. Like, nothing ever happened. Like, I never knew him. Like, I never met him. Like, we never made exchanges.
Yeah.
We had each other's phone number, and like,
he never came back for his costume.
Never came back. Never said anything else after the convention.
Okay.
I never heard from him again.
Yeah, that is some next level shit. To spend money on a commission just for an excuse to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. That is definitely some extreme. Notice me, senpai. You've been doing commissions for a while. I'm sure you have another story up your sleeve, but let me give you a break.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's traumatic to think back to gym. So let me give you a break because I want to run my mouth real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. My story's not as involved or as detailed, but I got a little something to throw in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
Guess it'd be fair to say that was kind of at the peak height of the excitement of my Abarai Renji cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Bleach was popping. Not a lot of people had cosplayed Renji at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially a fit guy who did the tattoos. There were a couple girls locally in the Midwest that had cosplayed him, but they weren't tatted up. I was one of the few guys that did it and was also shirtless and tatted. I was very fit at the time. There was a young lady from Ohio. I'm not going to say what city. She had been following me for a while. I would notice her in the inbox. She would comment, just, innocent. Oh, I love your cosplay. Comment in the pictures. Then one day, I get a bunch of notifications that I'm tagged in a picture. And people messaging me like, oh, who's this girl that's tagging you in her picture? I'm thinking I'm exposed in some scandal at how hard they were going. Then I'm like, I'm not messing around with nobody, so how am I in this scandal? Finally, I log on to Facebook. This girl has my name written on her boobs.
Wow.
She's tagged me in a couple pictures with my name written on her boobs.
Wow.
That was the first time this ever happened to me. I didn't know how to react. I didn't really click like. I didn't say anything for a minute. Then I get a message. Oh, did you like the picture I took for you? It was pretty much just a selfie, titties out, with my name written on it. I'm not going to say I didn't like seeing my name on some titties. First time I've ever seen that. I was flattered that someone cared about me enough to put my name on their titties. She was just like, hey, I'm just a big fan and I just want to support you. I just want to show people how much I'm a fan of yours. Mm-hmm. I figured this would help promote you. People want to look at my titties, so they get to see your name on it. Mm-hmm. It was like a free billboard that advertised me, except that billboard was some nice titties. Thank you. That was definitely a confidence boost back then. Definitely made me way cooler than I actually was. My peers that didn't understand cosplay or the extent of fandoms kind of had a rude awakening. Mm-hmm. They were like, you go to Comic-Cons and dress up as cartoon characters and girls write your name on their titties? I want to go.
Right?
When's the next one? Because I want to see my name on some titties. So yeah, I guess that's my first notice me senpai moment. I definitely noticed. That did build our friendship. I did really appreciate how far someone went to not only get me to notice them, but also as a marketing tool. She did think ahead and was like, hey, this is going to help people know who you are. Mm-hmm. At the time, I was also a part of a hip-hop group. We were performing across the Midwest. She helped advertise the music in that way, too. Mm-hmm. So thank you. Thank you. Cross promotion. And those titties were nice.
Damn.
To say the least.
If you took anything else from that, at least the titties was nice.
The titties was nice, and it looked even nicer with my name Sharpied across it. If you cosplay for any reason, That should be a goal, young men.
If there's any way to thank somebody, write their name on your titties.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Free advertisement all day long.
I bet anybody would appreciate that shit.
Not saying I expect anyone to write my name on their titties anymore, but hey, it worked. It worked for her. Definitely noticed. All right, enough about my names on titties. Let's go back to you. You've been doing commissions for a while. I'm sure there has to be at least another person that has gone that route. Okay. Let me shut up. Let me let you speak.
So coming down from that story, after I had already gone through that experience with Jim, here comes another person, maybe like a few years later.
Yeah.
And this person, I don't know. I don't know if this person follows me anymore. I don't know if we're still on social media together, but I don't even know if I want to name this person, honestly.
No, don't name him.
I don't want to name him. We'll call him John for this purpose.
Jim and John.
Jim and John. Let's just keep
Jimmy
it simple.
John's.
Jimmy John.
Jimmy John's. Hashtag not sponsored by Jimmy John's sandwiches. But if you do want to sponsor us, start by writing my name on your manager's titty. Hashtag not sponsored by Jimmy John's, even though y'all can't sponsor me. Anyways, so John came to you for a cosplay commission.
Yes, so a little back history with John. I was playing a game called Destiny.
Destiny?
On PlayStation.
What a loser.
Hey.
I played Destiny too. So.
I remember somebody was into Destiny as well.
I remember someone named Fanservice Renji popped up on PSN. Not sure if it was you or not. Yeah, it was me.
It was you.
Destiny. Okay.
Destiny was a shit.
It was.
When it first came out.
Excuse my burp. Destiny was the shit, and I drank a whole bottle of wine playing Destiny and passed the fuck out still online because it was that fancy and that hardcore.
It was great.
I was trying to be fancy.
And whiskey.
Whiskey. Yeah.
That's another story.
Yeah. Don't mix
We'll talk about
whiskey and wine.
Video game tryhards.
They both start with W's, but no. Anyways, playing Destiny, John came into your life.
Yes.
Continue.
So we were playing online. I think that's how we met. But anyways, we were playing Destiny together.
Yeah, because Destiny's like a squad-based game.
Yeah, it's a squad-based game.
You got to make friends.
So I'm thinking that's how we met. So we got to playing Destiny together. We were on a team doing raids and whatnot. And he caught wind that I make cosplay for people. I did commissions. And he started asking me about it. He's like, yeah, I'm super into the whole nerd culture, the whole like cosplay culture and whatnot. If you make cosplay for people, I would love it if you would make one for me. Mm-hmm. So, in my own mind, I'm just like, okay, another client, good for me. Then at some point, he did kind of say that he, had some feelings for me, like kind of feeling me a type of way.
Was this after he already put some money down on the costume?
Yeah, it was during that time. Okay. It was during that time where we had already made plans.
Just curious, what costume did he want?
It was something from a well-known anime. I don't want to say what it was because I don't want to give it away.
Well, I mean, you could still say the anime, but you don't have to say what character.
It was Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, so there's Dragon Ball has been around for a while, so it could be as simple as a orange karate gi or whatever Goku and Krillin and them wear. Just nurse scrubs, pretty much, all the way to extreme creatures.
Mm-hmm. But anyways,
how much did he spend? 500, 600?
I think it was around that price range.
Holy crap. I was just digging out my butthole and smelling my finger. $500? Whew. That is a lot of money to spend.
It was because of the certain cosplay that he wanted. It was kind of involved.
It was detailed.
Okay. And by this
that
time...
makes sense. If you charge him $500 for Goku's orange sleeveless nurse outfit?
No.
Holy crap.
No, it was at around this time after Jim's situation. By that time, I had already been making cosplay for people, and I've already like built my portfolio, my clientele. I built my brand up.
Yeah, so you could charge a little more.
So at this point in time, I was able to charge a little bit more for more detailed cosplay.
Yeah.
So it was around the time when, after he had paid the money to me already, when he was like, kind of confessing, like he was feeling me and stuff like that. Again, I'm just like rolling my eyes in the back of my head, just like, okay, another one. And like, I kind of felt a little weird about it because it just brought up gym memories.
Yeah, I'm sure because you're not DJ Khaled, so you don't want to hear another one.
Exactly. I never want to think of people in that way.
Yeah,
I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
I'm sure it's a difficult struggle. Like on one hand, you want to get the bag, you want to get that money,
Right. Because I'm treating everybody as like they're my clientele.
Yes. At what cost?
Right.
Being a attractive professional young lady, that's stuff you have to deal with, I'm sure.
Of course. And again, I never want to think that way in my business, but
At least he paid first. So lesson to you ladies out there or
yeah,
men, anything, get the bag first. Get the
Exactly.
money, secure the money first, then maybe you can tolerate the extra shit.
you know, if you're attractive or not, if you're sexy or not, whatever it may be, you never really, and at least if you're professional enough to think that way, you never want to throw people under the bus right away and just be like, okay, this is another scandal, another thing.
Yeah.
But me personally, this person was, you know, he wasn't out there like that. So I never felt like he was being grimy or anything like that. Like I just felt like, you know, it was another situation like Jim, but it wasn't as malicious as Jim was being toward me.
Yeah. Okay, so he confesses, but he paid. He paid a
He
lump,
paid.
a hefty sum.
Yeah, he did.
You get the costume done. You mail it out. So what happens next? Did he ever try to come to a convention where you were?
No, because I live out here in California, and wherever he was is not here.
Yeah.
So it was never one of those things where he was trying to come out here and be a part of my world or anything like that, or that he was really that interested in being at a convention in California in the first place. It was more like he wanted to wear the cosplay for something that he had already planned himself
Yeah.
wherever he lives. And, you know, I kind of saw that as not another gym situation.
Yeah. Despite him confessing, it was still pretty innocent.
Yeah.
To me, looking in from the outside, it's like, yeah, he was feeling you. He felt that this was a way to be a part of your life.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure you had to communicate back and forth beyond the
Yeah.
PSN network. It seemed like he didn't take it any further. So I
No.
guess that's the innocent part. He just kind of threw it out there and confessed his feelings. I guess that's cool. I mean, he was being real, but he wasn't trying to put any extra pressure
Right.
on. Unlike Jim, who saw you in real
Mm-hmm.
life and just kept putting on that attitude.
And then just did a completely 360 on
Yeah.
me and just turning completely cold toward me
Yeah,
when
just
he
became a
thought that
dick.
yeah, and just thought that because I didn't want to be more than just friends with him, that's why he turned on me. But this person, John, he did not turn on me. He kept everything professional. I will give him that 110%.
Did he keep playing Destiny with you?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he did. So we remain friends, and he's still cool to this day. I will never say his name because of that reason, but we're still cool to this day, and he's still been as loyal and fresh as ever toward me.
So he invested in a friendship.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
He spent the money, though he was feeling you, may have had thoughts of being more.
but he kept it professional.
Yeah, he kept it professional. I'm sure you let him down nicely.
He never once made me feel like I was, grimy or anything like that. He never once made himself like that as well.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he spent the money to shoot his shot. You can't knock someone for shooting their shot.
Yeah.
You do have certain opportunities in life, and it's up to you to take advantage of them.
And there's always going to be some kind of scenario where that happens, where
Yeah.
it's not malicious. It happens, but it doesn't turn into something problematic.
Yeah, it's one thing to confess your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
shoot your shot, be like, hey, I like you. And if that person says no, that's what matters, is how you respond afterwards. You could be a Jim and be all pissy and just
That goes
storm
horrible.
off. Or you could be a John, be like, okay, cool, I respect that you're not feeling the same. I would still love to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
He still walked away with a friendship.
Yeah.
Jim walked away with a dookie stain in his underwear that's going to stink for the rest of his life.
Butthurt and salty.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, kind of extreme to spend that kind of money just to shoot your shot with someone.
But
But
hey, at least they know what their company is worth.
yeah, that's a compliment to you.
Yeah.
That's definitely valuing someone's worth and time.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess when you break it down, that's no different from you being at the bar or club and someone buys you a drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to buy a moment of your time. That's
Yeah.
their moment to impress you. I guess getting a cosplay commission for that kind of money, I guess it's the same thing. He's just buying a bigger moment of your time.
Yeah.
That's cool though. He shot his shot and respected the outcome.
Yes.
That's all we can wish for.
And he remained respectful to this day.
Yeah, that's cool. Sometimes it doesn't end well, but
and that's called a sour situation.
a sour situation. We know how the story with John ended up. John never lived local, but Jim, you went to school with him.
Yeah.
Did you ever see him again?
We never kept in contact after that situation happened, but I did see him because we did go to the same college.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did see him, and unfortunately, we were still on social media together. So I did see the things that he would post, and I did see the people that he was associated with. And in his natural gym fashion, he went out with another classmate. I never had her in one of my personal classes, but we also went to the same school. And this girl that he ended up being with after me, or talking to after me, and she was a nerd as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and she was in the nerd world and doing the whole cosplay thing. So I just feel like he found another cosplayer to replace me or whatever you may.
It sounds like you're trying to be nice about this, Shana. Just okay. Same school. It seems like you're holding back what you really want to say.
He got somebody else to replace me, I guess, because she.
What? Like, don't tell me it's like a knockoff version of you. Just say it, Sean.
Okay.
Shit.
Me and this girl, we did have the same style. We had the same hairstyle, the same look, we probably went to the same Hot Topics together. That pretty much sums up how this girl looked compared to me. We look exactly the same.
Oh, she was
much.
the Gucci knockoff.
She was the knockoff.
Except that Gucci was spelled with 3 C's. Or Gucce. Gucci. Just say it, Shauna.
She was a knockoff version of me.
Okay. Remember.
I'm looking at this girl.
This the Shinobi Squad podcast. We be spitting that real shit.
Spitting that truth.
That truth. So if this chick girl was a bootleg knockoff, you could say it. Was she?
She was.
So Jim was trying to replace you.
In a quickness, because
in a quickness.
He found this girl maybe like only a few weeks after our exchange. I did see him on campus rolling around with the girl I love, and I was like, oh shit.
He couldn't get the Balenciaga boots, so he got the Payless boots instead. Okay.
I was trying to quote the CeeLo Green, but it didn't come off that way.
No disrespect to whatever girl he ended up with, but if she was the knockoff version of you,
yeah,
then she was the knockoff version of you.
She was rolling around, and I'm like,
ugh.
Jim.
But
to put the cherry on that shit cake.
Cherry on the shit cake.
I did end up meeting this girl.
Ooh.
I ended up meeting her. We happened to be in the same building as our classes were, so we saw each other in passing.
Yeah.
She came up to me and she saw me and she's like, "Do you happen to know a guy named Jim?"
Ooh.
And I was like, "Yeah, I know him. What of it?" And she's like, "Yeah, so I don't know if you knew this before, but like me and him used to date and we broke up."
Used to? Okay.
And this was maybe like a few months or so after the fact that after the whole like thing that happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long.
That didn't last long.
They dated for a few months.
Yeah.
So she came up to me and she's like, "Do you happen to know a guy named Jim? You know, we broke up, but I just wanted to know how he was toward you because I know that you guys knew each other." I'm like,
yeah.
First of all, we never dated, so I don't know what this is. Because I didn't, at that point, to give her a brief breakdown, she was kind of like the rebel girl. She was very like a misfit kind of girl.
Yeah.
She was very, very gothic, very punk looking. and whatnot, and I didn't know what she was gonna say or how she was going to be, because she just looked like one of those renegade kind of girls. So I'm like looking at her like, first of all, we never dated, so don't be coming at me like, that's my man. And I'm like, no, bitch, like don't be talking to me like that. Don't be coming at me sideways, all right? So I was already having that mentality when she was talking to me. But then she had said, hey, I don't know how he was toward you, but like he was a little bitch toward me.
Yeah.
He was mean towards me. Yeah. She's like,
So what was she trying to accomplish? Was she just looking for closure?
I think she was.
Was she comparing notes? Did she want to?
She came up to me like she wanted to know something about him that she didn't. I think she was just trying to get to know people who knew him on a personal level, because she didn't want to make it personal on herself how he had treated her. She had said to me, he was a little bitch towards me, like he was very mean, he was very problematic towards me, and I don't know why. And she asked me wholeheartedly, like, how was he towards you? And I'm just like, pretty much the same way with what you're talking about. Like, he was mean to me too for no reason, and me and him weren't even dating, mind you.
Yeah.
And I told her that, and she's like, okay, all right, then, I feel better about it. And like this, she was coming at me like a girlfriend at that point. She's just like, man, like I really did like him, but he treated me like shit, and I don't know why. So her coming to me, asking me about him and talking about him like that, it was pretty much like she was coming to me for closure.
Yeah. You probably was sitting there was like, well, sucks for you, but he paid me, bitch.
I know, right? At least he paid me.
Bootleg, pay less version of me looking ass bitch.
Because mind you, like I never really talked to him after that, so I didn't know. All I knew is what he had posted on MySpace and stuff like that.
You didn't talk to him, and you didn't know her.
Yeah.
You weren't obligated to make her feel better. Like, well, sorry, you fell victim to such a lame ass.
Yeah, me and her.
You should have got your bag first.
Me and her talked briefly after that, and I think she felt better knowing that, he just was that way and it wasn't anything personal towards her.
She probably needed to talk to someone that experienced his weak ass dick game or something. Yo, did he nut in 2 seconds with you too?
No.
You were like, no, I didn't even go that far.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry you had to experience that, but no. I got the bag and I dipped. I'm sorry you got the nut and he dipped, but sorry, that's not me. But
and that's what really got me, because what I said earlier, what I was trying not to say before, but me and her had the same style. We were pretty much the same person. And I guess she saw me, and she had saw that me and him had some communication
exchange
with each other. And she wanted to know, like, okay, if he went for you and he went for me, then there has to be something like going on or something wrong, or what did I do wrong? Like, why did I fuck up? I don't know. But she came to me on a girlfriend note, and I kind of respected that in a way, because I didn't know her previously. I had seen her, but like I didn't know her, so I don't know. I don't know how to really feel about that. I kind of give it the respect for what it was, but it's just like, I don't know.
It's just amazing how a lame man can bring women together.
Exactly. Because she genuinely came to me and was like, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Bitch.
No.
Nah.
It's Jim.
Nah.
It's Jim and his lame ass self.
And I wasn't even the one who fell for him. She did. So
I know.
I guess we're not that much alike.
God, I'm surprised she didn't ask you for money. Like, hey, Jim gave you some money. Give me some of that money.
He barely gave me enough money to cover my rent at the time. So
wherever you are to this day, Jim, please stop asking people to commission cosplays for you just because you think that's how you're going to fall in love with them.
And please stop talking to girls that you think you can get something from. Like, come on. Come on, dude.
Jim, finish your education and be a good boy. That's it.
Yeah. At some point, Zuko, the person that you tried to cosplay, did turn around.
Yeah.
And tried to turn himself around.
Zuko has the best redemption story of all time.
Zuko here.
Kanye will jump on stage time and time again and be like, I'm going to let y'all finish, but Zuko had the best redemption story of all time.
Yeah.
You did not deserve to be Zuko.
You did not deserve your honor.
No, you have no honor. Sounds like you's a bitch. All right. Notice me senpai stories. I guess I got another one. Again, I just wish I had some extreme lameness as you do, but mine are kind of innocent. Anyways, as some of y'all know, I have been doing paid photo shoots at conventions.
Mm-hmm.
I had done a paid shoot at a convention that I will not name. I was booked to do a shoot for a pair of cosplayers. I like to do my research. I asked what characters you're cosplaying, what kind of background you're kind of looking at. Like, what do you want? I do to the best of my ability to use the location of the convention to give them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
If they're looking for something in the city or buildings, I try to shoot by buildings. Or if they want to be in the woods, I try to find wood, forest, woods, whatever. Whatever we have to do to get to what they want. Anyways, I shoot this group. They're very vague about what they want. I don't know where to put them. I don't know where to tell them to meet me. Fortunately, that convention had a lot of pre-made backdrops.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean is a lot of conventions have jumped on this mini studio setting.
Mm-hmm.
They'll set up an area where they have a lot of photo shoot areas. One backdrop could be a forest. One backdrop can be a tea house. One backdrop can be the city, what have you. It's just different backdrops for different situations. I tell them to meet me there. We start shooting. I'm trying to do my best. Halfway through the shoot, I realize we're going through these shoots pretty quick. They're not giving me feedback. They're not even asking to look at the pictures. I don't have a problem reviewing what we're doing just in case my clients aren't happy.
Mm-hmm.
They had no opinion. They were just happy to be there. Finally, this girl just admits to me, hey, honestly, I don't even care what we do. I just booked this shoot to spend time with you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a fan of yours for years. I just never am at the same event you're at. And this was the first time I could be next to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to be creepy. I just knew that this was the only way I was going to see you. This is my guarantee to see you. If I can book you for a shoot, you would be here with me. Half of me was like, wow, that's kind of extreme, borderline creepy. But then the other half of me, seeing just how excited and genuine she was, it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart, actually. That's no different from someone seeing their voice actor doing a meet and greet panel and they lined up for it.
Mm-hmm.
So after I thought about it like that, I totally disregarded any creepiness for it. So we're trying to finish the shoot. I'm still trying to be professional. I'm still trying to give her great photos or great video. But she just got this starry-eyed look, just like, it's Renji. And I'm just like, yo, what's up? We still got some time. Like, how do you want to spend the rest of your time? You already told me you don't care about these photos. So what do you want to do with the rest of this time? She busts out a portfolio of pictures of me that I've cosplayed in the past.
Wow.
Her favorite images of me as a cosplayer, she wanted me to sign these pictures.
What?
She gave me her disclaimer. I don't mean it to bootleg your pictures and just print on my own. I know I should buy prints from you if I want to support you, but you don't have prints of any of these. I hope you don't mind that I printed these out myself. These are my favorite pictures of you,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be honored if you could sign them for me. I damn near shed a tear. Like, you went through all that trouble for me, for little old me? And I was like, of course. But first off, bitch, you gotta pay me. Nah, I didn't say that shit. I didn't say that shit.
You pay me.
She had like 4 or 5 pictures of me, and I could have been a dick. Like, no. You gonna pay me for bootlegging my pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but it was just totally flattering that she did all this just to secure her moment, her 45 minutes that she would get to meet me. I couldn't be mad at that. She wasn't creepy. She wasn't like breathing on the back of my neck or anything. She barely asked for anything. She just wanted to be there. And then finally, like I said, she asked for me to sign these pictures and for me to take a selfie with her. And that made her day. Again, that was super extreme for me.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't nobody. I ain't shit in this cosplay game. But for someone to appreciate the things I've done, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And that's an extreme notice me senpai moment. And if you're listening to this podcast, I don't mean to put your business out there, but I do appreciate that. I do appreciate you. I haven't forgot that moment. One of the most touching moments in my life. And I will probably tell that story for the rest of the time. So thank you. And you better put my picture in a fucking frame because that's going to be worth money one day.
In a fucking frame.
In a gosh darn frame. I'm talking about you go to the woods, find the oldest tree in your neighborhood, you chop that bitch down. I don't care if that shit is 300 years old. You chop it down, make a custom wooden frame for my 4 picture that I signed for you for free.
Hey, somebody would do that for real if they really loved you
Do
that
it.
much.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want proof. Take a picture of the tree before you chop it down so I know it's this ancient sequoia tree that's been there for 400 years.
No,
yes.
don't,
yes.
hey,
yes.
don't do that.
No. Hey, I know my value and I'm worth an ancient sequoia tree.
Don't do that.
Chop that shit down. Cut it with a butter knife. I don't care what you do. Focus your chakra and karate chop it.
If you're just looking at this podcast,
make a frame.
If you're just listening to this podcast,
make a frame.
My face is doing some things.
That's why y'all gotta watch it on YouTube as well. Download it on Spotify or wherever you get your favorite podcast from. But watch the video. Y'all missing the aesthetics.
Y'all missing my side eye right now.
Y'all missing the side eye, but y'all also missing this Pikachu hat, this Pikachu plushie.
And I'm dressed like Lieutenant Surge.
Lieutenant Surge. All right. So, we putting a little extra oomph in this podcast. A lot of people just want to wake up, wear pajamas, talk some shit into a microphone. But no, we trying to look pretty and put some themes together for y'all. So download the podcast and also watch it on YouTube and share it with a friend.
And I'm wearing the new Bloodlust palette from Jeffree Star.
Bloodlust, yes.
Bloodlust. It just released on Friday. I'm wearing that shit today. So watch the podcast on YouTube, please. Thank you.
Exactly. Since we ain't got no brand deals yet, we got to plug ourselves. So, all right? So we can use y'all.
Plug.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. You never know who you influence.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to try to be the best you can be. Not all of us ask to be role models, but sometimes you are.
Yeah.
You don't know who's looking at you.
You don't know how you're touching someone's
Exactly.
heart.
So just stop being dicks. All right? That's a message to the world. Just stop being dicks and the world could be a better place. And freaking recycle. All right?
Recycle. Stop littering, please.
Yeah.
I see some of y'all on the highway throwing shit out the
I know,
window.
especially in LA. Like, y'all throw a whole ass 13-gallon bag of trash
Come on.
out your car.
Y'all, and I had half the mind to take your picture of your license plate and send that shit to the police. Because I ain't fucking around. Yeah, if I see you throw a whole shitload of trash out your car.
A whole ass bag.
Even if it's just a bottle. Don't be doing that shit. Who do you think you are?
Anyways, Captain Planet, he's a hero. He's going to fight or cut pollution down to zero.
Exactly.
90s babies, Captain Planet. Off camera, Shana, you said you had one last story you wanted to tell before we end this podcast. One more. Okay, another one.
And this is an extreme one.
All right. Go ahead.
I don't want to say this person's name, so I will make up another name.
Let's
call him Fred.
Fred, all right.
Fred.
All right.
Call him Fred. Keep it simple. This is a friend of mine.
Okay.
We had gone out to maybe like a karaoke bar or something like that. And my friend had brought their friends. And
so your friend brought Fred?
Yeah.
Okay.
Friend brought a friend. This friend was Fred. And Fred, at the bar, wherever we were, he saw me. I guess he just instantly had an infatuation towards me. We had talked. We had introduced ourselves. And he started following me on social media and stuff like that. And it started off simple enough and as innocent enough. At first, it wasn't as feisty as it became.
Yeah.
But from there, it grew to be feisty and things like that.
Let's just recap it real quick. mutual get together. So one of your friends brought Fred along, and that's how he met you.
Yes.
And then he became infatuated with you.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
And I could tell that because he was buying me drinks, he was talking to me, he was doing the most. It's like I had a boyfriend at the time. After that situation, when we first had our first encounter, my friend, our mutual friend, we had a couple more get-togethers. Fred came along and was a part of the situation, so he was always in the mix when it came to me and this mutual friend. But because we were already friends on Facebook, he was following me. He saw all of my posts. He knew that I had a boyfriend. He knew that I was with somebody. But our messages became from platonic to like, hey, so do you want to just hang out one day? Do you want to just meet up one day and just, do our own thing? I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're not friends with that person on social media, you don't know what they're doing. You don't.
Yeah.
It's more innocent that way. But when you're friends with somebody on social media and you see that they have a boyfriend, like I never had the chance to tell him that I had a boyfriend. He saw that. He saw that I would post about this person all the time. He saw that I was committed on Facebook, on social media.
Yeah.
He saw all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yet he kept asking me to hang out with him one-on-one. I automatically wasn't, into him. I wasn't infatuated with him at all. I had a boyfriend, but also like he just wasn't my type. Like he just wasn't the kind of person that I would ever gravitate towards. We were just friends, at least I thought. But he just kept pushing the boundaries. He kept doing that extra step all the time. And it just came to the point where I told our mutual friend, like, if we ever hang out again, please don't invite this person because this person's going overboard. He's doing more than he should be doing, and he's saying more than he should be saying to me, even though he knows I have a boyfriend. And our mutual friend at the time knew my boyfriend, and they were friends with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, Fred, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. Like, how do I have to keep telling you this shit?
But Fred kept showing up, didn't he?
He kept showing up.
He kept showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So he was creepy right off the bat.
Okay, so did Fred show up at another event? Was he trying to push up on you at some point?
He was doing the most. He was being extra.
Yeah.
Extra as fuck at all times. Doesn't matter if we saw each other in passing or if we were with our friends or whatever. If he was invited to the same place that I was going to be at, this guy was on it. He was on it at all times. But it came down to the point where he just never backed off.
Yeah.
So at some point, he's
Did
like...
he try to like dance up on you at like events and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
No, those are like important details.
Those are important details.
It's one thing just to show up at an event, but if y'all just at the club and you start dancing and he's all trying to hump up on you.
He knew I had a boyfriend, but yet he was extra, doing whatever he could. He was doing the most. He was not letting up. He was dropping all the stops. Like, he was just doing it.
Yeah.
Doing his thing. And, like, at this point, I'm just like, is this guy okay? Like, does he not get it? Is he challenged in some way? Like, at this point, I'm just thinking those things. Like, is he dyslexic? I don't know. I don't know what proper term to call it, but this guy was doing everything and anything to get my attention. So at some point, he's like, okay, I see you do cosplay commissions. You don't want to hang out with me one-on-one. You don't want to invite me to where you're going. And I see you on Facebook hanging out with my mutual friend and this and that, whatever, but I'm going to hire you. Now this is like another level. I'm just like, okay. Like, I didn't know what to say about it. I'm just like, you want to hire me now? You want to pay me for my attention?
Yeah.
From start to finish, he asked me if I could commission a cosplay for him. I don't even remember. No, I do remember. It was Berserk, the anime Berserk.
Yeah.
He wanted the main character. He wanted the cosplay. He wanted the prop, which was like a big like bastard blade and everything, like a big broadsword. We were talking about it, and when he came to me with the commission, I'm just like, okay, this is a commission. Like, maybe he wants my business. Maybe he's like trying to be serious in that way. So I entertained it. I'm just like, okay, so what's your measurements? What do you want out of the cosplay? How do you want it to look? Is there any like specifics to it? He gave me everything that I asked for, everything. So I'm thinking like maybe he's trying to be serious about it. Maybe he really does want this cosplay. We talked about this cosplay for a month straight.
Mm-hmm.
A month. A month. And at no point in time did he ever commit to anything.
Yeah.
So I got to the point where I'm just like, okay, do you want to pay for that? How do you want to pay for it? How do you want to go about it? When do you need it by? And I noticed he kept stretching it out. He kept saying things like, oh, I don't want it right now. I don't want it for this convention. I want it for maybe like a later convention. And mind you, we had the same mutual friends and stuff like that. So they all went to conventions. They all did their thing. So I heard like our mutual friend wants to go to this convention. Are you doing that too? He'd be like, well, yeah, but I don't want this cosplay for that. I want it for something else. And that just kept going on. He kept saying that kind of thing. And I'm just like, I need to have a deadline for this because I'm not going to just make it for you and just hope for your deadline and hope for the best or whatever. So he just kept pushing it off and pushing it off. I'm just like,
so he was pretty much just prolonging the exchange, the talking.
That we would keep talking.
Yeah, okay. That's why it is an important lesson to get your money. Get your bag first. If people ain't putting down their money, stop fucking talking to them.
The important part in this whole story about him, within this month that we were going back and forth, this was around Valentine's Day. I had my date already because I was already seeing somebody. I was on a date. It was Valentine's Day. And this guy, Fred, he calls me on my cell phone. I had posted previously on my Facebook where he could see it that I was on a date. We posted a cute little selfie together, me and my date. Fred calls me not even like an hour later after I posted that picture. He says, hey, what are you doing right now?
Dude.
Come on.
Bitch, you know you saw that picture.
Oh, Jesus. What are you doing right now?
What are you doing right now? I bet his dumb ass clicked like and still asked that.
And I'm glad you asked that because he did.
Oh my God.
He did. He clicked like. Not even like half an hour after he clicked like. Ring, ring, ring. What are you doing right now? Oh, what do you think I'm doing right now, bitch? I answered my phone on purpose because I knew this guy was already on some dumb shit. I answered my phone on purpose in the middle of my day to be like, hey, look, watch this. Watch this. I go, hey, I'm on a date. It's Valentine's Day. Do you mind just calling me later? And he goes, yeah, I was going to do something. I was going to invite you to it later on. But I see you're on a date. I see you're on a date? I see you on a... Oh, my fucking God. So he knew. He gave himself away. He said, I see you on a date, but I'll call you later.
Cock blocking ass. What part of the game is this?
If you could see me.
What part of the game is this?
You should watch this podcast because I'm placing my hand to my forehead at this point.
All right, so Fred clearly didn't get it. Let's fast forward. So where's Fred now? So I
have no fucking clue.
So what happened with Fred? I'm sure he's still popping up in this world.
At the time, my boyfriend was working for a entertainment company so Fred, after this whole thing, I find out, and he posted this on Facebook under the education tab on Facebook.
Yeah, where you can put where you went to school or where you were.
Yeah. He said now working for this company. And it was the same damn company.
The same company.
The same. And mind you, there's only one of this company where we were living at the time, locally. Only one in the whole stateside. The entire stateside.
He got a job at the same place your boyfriend was working?
Yes.
Wow.
This was I didn't know if I had to get a restraining order or what, but this person was just on one. I don't understand this. This kind of shit on that caliber.
That's some serial killer shit. That's some chop you up into little bitty pieces and sprinkle you on his Frosted Flakes. He got a job at the exact same company your boyfriend was working at.
There was only one.
Yeah, there's only
one in the whole stateside. That's the one thing that you chose to do out of everything you could have done with your life.
Wow.
And that wouldn't mean anything to me if you didn't already have a story to follow it.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's not random.
Ugh.
That's very specific.
Very specific.
He knew you had a boyfriend. He studied not only you, he studied your boyfriend to be like, okay, that's what Shauna is impressed by. Her boyfriend works here. Let me get a job there so she can be impressed with me.
To put the cherry on that shit cake.
Shit cake cherries all day.
Yes. He never got a cosplay for me. He just wanted to know.
Oh.
He just wanted to know that he could ask me about it. He knew that that was a conversation starter, and that was it. We never went forward with any cosplay plans after that.
Oh, that's even worse than Jim.
Yeah.
He was just trying to use your business for an excuse to conversate with you.
Yes.
And stay in your life. Wow.
Nothing.
That's intense.
So that's the shit that I ever had to deal with when it came to cosplay commissions.
Nah, definitely. That's an extreme case of Notice Me Senpai. But in the regards of Fred, that's scary. That he took it a step further to get a job with that company.
Yeah.
He pretty much changed his whole career path.
I don't know what he did previously before that, but it was just suspect. You couldn't have gotten a job anywhere else, but there was only one company.
Yeah, that's very specific to work for that exact company.
I wish I could tell y'all, but I don't want to put their company on blast.
Ugh.
How do you get close to somebody? I don't know. Maybe I'll ask them about their business. Maybe I'll join a business that their boyfriend works at. I don't know. Maybe I'll get my shot in. Somehow, some way, I will get that attention that I want.
He probably still works at a company to this day.
Because he has nowhere else to go.
Good thing you don't live there anymore.
No.
Ugh. All right.
I get goosebumps.
Oh, yeah. That creeps me out just thinking about it. Extreme cases of Notice Me Senpai. That was creepy enough. I think we should end with that story. Any more would get way too creepy. That wraps up another episode of the Shinobi Squad podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We posting up every week. Make sure you catch us on YouTube if you want to see the visuals, what Shana be wearing. Like, I be wearing some stuff, but y'all just want to see what Shana wearing. Also, just to see the live reactions. This podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, hopefully on iTunes soon. Just wherever you get your podcast from. We're working on that. We're trying to be official all over the board. Do us a favor. Download the podcast in case you're just stuck in traffic. But also watch the video if you can. Sorry, I'm just trying to promote us. You know, podcast just starting. So I'm just letting y'all know how we're available. Do us a favor. Share the podcast with somebody in your life. Then tell them to share with someone else. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Fan Service Renji.
I'm Shana Mostella. Thank you so much.
Shinobi Squad Podcast. We out.